Hello all, welcome back to Shaving with Peg Leg. Head shave today. So, for a razor, I'm going to use the razor I just used yesterday. This monster. I didn't show how to load this yesterday. I figure you guys have seen enough videos on that. You pop the cap off like that. Now, you can either, don't grip a blade like that. Don't ever do that. That's just me. You can set it on there like that and then put the cap on. I can squeeze this pretty good and not get cut. Or you can set it in the cap like that and then snap the bring the base, the razor down onto the cap and then snap it into place. Check your overhang to make sure it's even on both sides. Yeah, I do stupid shit with razor blades all the time. Don't do what I do. Do the smart thing. I'm using a second use Gillette Silver Blue. This might be too much blade for this razor. So I am going to do all 3 passes on setting 3. I don't think I'm going to touch setting 6 with this head shave because that's over 2 millimeters of blade gap on this monster. It's 2.007 millimeters of blade gap. There we go. It wasn't snapped in place correctly. Blade alignment's still good. Check that. Something you should be mindful of. We're going to use my Old Spice tube. I've got it in my yak horn bowl. And I'm going to use the Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements Atomic Rocket. 26 millimeter brush. I'm going to squeeze a little bit of the water out of it because I've never lathered this one in a bowl. I've only ever put this one on my head. I just wanted to try something new. I figure since I was going scalping with that monster. And yes, I'm a dumbass. There is lather channels. I don't know why I was thinking that razor didn't have any. But I really was. I had it in my head that that razor had no lather channels. That it was just using those deep grooves where the safety bar is. I don't know why. Don't ask me. I'm a dumbass. I wouldn't have a good answer anyways. Alright, I've got it whipped up pretty good. It's going to need more water once it's on the head. I got this. I'm just going to wipe that there. Okay. Wet the dome. Pears soap. Dip it in the water. Cup it. Don't squeeze it. Cup it. I keep telling you guys this every time I use it. Don't squeeze this soap when it's in your hand. It will squirt out and squirt across the floor and you'll end up chasing it and cleaning up a snail trail of soap all the way to where it landed or it stopped sliding. Had that happen from here to the door. Okay, got soap. It's going to need more water. I know that. But we'll just get it on the head for now. And then we'll just get some water on it. It's got a little bit of Old Spice scent, and it's the new Red Label Old Spice that it has the scent of, not the old original Blue Label, which I have a bottle of that too. But I got the new one so I wouldn't use up all my old one. So give it some more water. That's better. That's much better. Okay. Like I said, it's on setting 3, and I'm going to use setting 3 for the whole shit and caboodle. Alright, back to front as it is with the grain. Oh, I can hear it, and I can feel it. Wow. That is a lot of blade for this monster. This thing is aggressive. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. But Merkur wouldn't make an aggressive razor. They did with this monster. Let me tell you, this sucker is aggressive. And I think I made one of the few right choices I've made in a while by just sticking with level 3, setting 3 for the whole shave. You gotta be careful. You get soap on your hands with this thing. It slips, it slides. It'll clean my hands off. Ow. Oh, 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 oh. I just put a slice in the back of my head you would not believe. Because I didn't, look at that. Because I did not bend my arm and my wrist correctly to move the razor down. And I let it rotate instead of keeping the angle. And when it did that, it just bit right in and grabbed skin. Not good. Okay. Oh well. Not the first time I bled, won't be the last time I bleed. But I cut myself pretty good. I dug in pretty deep on that one. Oh yeah, I did. Okay, well. We must continue with the shave anyways. You can see it in the soap. Alright. Won't gross you guys out. I'll do everything but that spot. Then I'll go back and soap that spot afterwards. Okay. August 28th, 1963. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. gave his I Have a Dream speech. And I was going to talk about that. And after the shave, I was going to read his whole speech, which took him 55 minutes to get through because he kept stopping for crowd applause and everything. But it's only like 2 to 3 minute speech if you just read straight through it. But I decided that would be too political. So I'm not doing that today. Instead, I'm going all the way back to 1837. And for our friends across the pond in England, you will appreciate this story. Because this takes place in Worcester in 1837. And what takes place in Worcester in 1837? Lee and Pears Worcestershire sauce goes on sale for the first time. Guys, I got a ton of blood. I didn't nick. I sliced. Like I said, I didn't rotate my arm and wrist properly when I was dragging the razor down like this. And instead of holding this angle, I got down to a point where I had to move my arm, and I didn't, so that I could keep this angle, and I went like this. And that blade just bit right into the skin and got me good. I'm bleeding pretty hard back there. That's okay. Pain lets you know you're alive. And wounds heal. And chicks dig scars. Anyways. So. Let me get my glasses on for a second. John Wheely Lee and William Henry Pears were two pharmacists. They owned a pharmacy drugstore in Worcester. And a man by the name of Marcus Sandys, third Baron Sandys, who had recently served in Bengal, came into their shop and asked them if they could duplicate a fish sauce that he had had while he was in Bengal. And they said, sure, we can duplicate that fish sauce. That's not a problem. We're chemists. Well, they duplicated the fish sauce. And you guys have to remember, back then, meats were sold to the consumer from the butcher that had been sitting out, usually at room temperature or damn near room temperature, because they used to use a hole in the ground. It was a basement, a root cellar type deal. And they pack it with blocks of ice that they cut off the river or the lake or the pond in the wintertime. They put them down in this cellar, and they covered the whole thing in straw, because the straw was the insulation to keep the ice blocks from melting. And that's how they had refrigeration through the summer, the warmer months. Well, a lot of times the meat that they were selling was old. It was turning green. And people were buying this meat, and they were putting, the only sauces available at that time was a thing called fish sauce from the Orient, from China. Or fish sauces. So I bet you didn't know that Lee and Pears' Worcestershire sauce is actually a fish sauce. Bet you didn't know that. First on sale in 1837. So anyways, they make Marcus Sandys his fish sauce. And it was absolutely putrid. Disgusting. Couldn't be eaten. Revolting. Simply, it's what they say, it was putrid. Which, if you know what the word putrid means, it was just absolutely disgusting. It was foul. Well, what they found was, the longer it marinated, the better it became. So they let one batch marinate for 3 years. And that one was the best one. But they found that after 18 months, it was acceptable. It was good to go. You could eat it, you could enjoy it, it was fine. But if you let it go 3 years, it was even more fine, it was better. But who wants to marinate something for 3 years before you sell it? 18 months is a stretch as it is. So, they started selling it after they marinated it for 18 months. 18 months. They would marinate it. Now, in 1939, the Duncan family of New York started importing Lee & Perrins Worcestershire sauce to the United States, to America. And they started selling it for them in the United States, in America. And Lee & Perrins ended up building a factory. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. Midland Road in Worcestershire, in Worcester. In Worcester, they built Midland Road, and they built a factory there. And they've had four different owners over the years, and the most recent one is, of course, Kraft Foods. Bought it in 2005. They bought Lee & Perrins. There is only two places in the world that make Worcestershire, Lee & Perrins Worcestershire sauce. Only two places. The original factory on Midland Road in Worcester, and a place in New Jersey. Only two places that it's made. And there's a difference between the two products. The one in the United States is made with distilled white vinegar. The one in England is made with malt vinegar. So the two are distinctly different in that aspect. In Australia, New Zealand, and Canada all get the UK produced Worcestershire sauce from England to sell in their stores. Even though Canada is closer to the United States, they do not get the US made one. It would be smart because they're so close, but they do not. They do not get the US made product. The US made product is sent around the world except for the UK, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. Those countries only get the UK version made with malt vinegar and not distilled white vinegar. Still got a little bit right there. I said I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to do it. Because I'm going to watch what I do. Be careful. Alright. It's on setting 6. I don't know if you can see that, but it's on setting 6. It is raining like a waterfall outside right now. Just 30 seconds ago, there was a huge clap of thunder, and then the rain started coming down. I am in my bathroom, and on the other side of the wall, behind the camera here, behind my phone, is my front porch. And of course, it's got like a sheet metal roof on it. It's kind of loud when the rain hits it, and it sounds like snare drum being played very, very fast right now. But anyways, I just thought that was neat. Because back then, there was nothing. If you remember, if you guys, have you ever watched the History Channel? It wasn't The Making of America, but it was the one about food products and the things that they had Bird's Eye on with his frozen food process, and they had Henry Heinz on with his ketchup, making this ketchup. That was all 1880s. And later, most of that stuff, it happened. It didn't happen, talking 1837, that Worcestershire was made. That stuff didn't happen back then. There was, all right, some places had mustard because the Romans had used mustard way back in the day. And they also used vinegar. But most places, most people tried to get the Chinese fish sauce. Because that was made with all kinds of different shit in it too. But the Chinese also minced fish guts. They minced them, turned them into a pulp, into a liquid, and used them to make the fish sauce. And they put it on meats, especially meats that were getting ready to turn or were a little green, to kill the bad taste. This is going to burn like a son of a... That thing did good on my head until that point where I did not move my arm properly, and I let it, instead of keeping the 30-degree angle, I did that with it, and it just, oh, skin, give me. It was like a flipping vampire bite. Oh, holy crap. Right through here, holy crap. That's like a 4. Because I turned it up to 6 in that area, remember? Oh, wow. I just lost all that skin in that area. Oof. Wow. Oh. Okay, this is going to be a mother right here. Yowza, Batman. Holy crap. Zoink. Bam. Pow. Bang. Holy crap. Yeah, that was a 10. Oh. Yeah. So, Liam Perrin's Worcestershire sauce, whiskey sauce. That's what I used to call it when I was a kid, whiskey sauce. 1837. August 28, 1837, it went on sale. 2 years later, it was imported into America by the Duncan family in New York and sold in the States. Which Hazel? And the original formula that's made in England still to this day in the original factory is made with malt vinegar, and the American version's made with distilled white vinegar. And what countries get the malt vinegar? UK, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. Everybody else, well, I shouldn't say that, but the US version is the one that's most popularly exported. Old Spice. Oh, that's gonna burn too, because I've got a whole freaking handful. That restrictor is crap. Oh, that's gonna burn. Oh, it is. 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 Oh. Oh, there's still alcohol in that. All right, Johnson & Johnson baby lotion. Got the right amount of that. Pick up that Old Spice in my hands because there's enough of it. Spread it around the head. There we go. Around the dome. There we go. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. Okay. All right, we did a dome shave. How about that? And only one spot of blood because I was a dumbass and didn't move my arm properly. All right, guys. I'm sorry I didn't do the MLK speech. I was going to read the whole speech at this point of the video because, like I said, it's only 2 minutes, but I just thought it was too political. And my political views might be different than yours, and I don't want to upset anybody because I went through this. That speech was given 1 year before I was, well, about 4 months before I was born, 5 months before I was born. And I went through, as a little kid, the last half of the 60s. I went through the 70s as a child, up until I was 14. And then my teens in the 80s and early 20s. And we didn't have the racial problems we have now. They're trying to revert back to the 1940s and 50s as far as racial relations go. I'm sorry, but they are, because when I grew up, we didn't have these problems. We looked at each other and we based each other, as MLK said, on our character, not our skin tone. We went by how we looked at each other. I mean, not how we looked at each other, but your actions and what you did. We didn't look at each other as color. At least that's how I went through it, and I noticed most people did too. We held doors open for each other. We said please and thank you. It's not like today. But anyways, and that's the reason I didn't want to get into that, because I would go down that road and it would turn into an hour-and-a-half video of me ranting about today's state of politics. Thank you to the asshole that started this when he became president. Him and his transvestite wife. Anyways, enough of that. Sorry, I had to say it. It was pent up. I say things I shouldn't say all the time, and that was one of them. I apologize if that offended you. No, I don't apologize that offended you. That's my belief. I'm allowed to have my beliefs. Anyways, y'all take care. Done with the babbling fat guy before he says something else stupid in the camera. You're in the chair next. Happy shaves out there, guys.